The PKI SSO connector is a single sign-on solution for Remedy. It is compatible with Common Access Cards, or CAC, by way of the PKI certificates linked to the card. The PKI SSO connector can also be used with other authentication tools such as Active Directory, SiteMinder, and WebSeal, among others. The PKI connector utilizes the AR external authentication functions of the Remedy API. It is a client-server based solution. The primary authentication library is installed on the Remedy application server. There are Java and C-based versions of the library available. The client authenticators are written in Java and JSP and are installed on the mid-tier and other application servers. PKI SSO connector currently has clients available for Remedy mid-tier, BSM dashboards, analytics for BSM, and BMC's Proactive Net Performance Management, or BPPM. Now let's talk about some of the requirements of the PKI SSO connector. It requires Remedy 6.3 or higher. It is available for all of the supported Remedy operating systems, including Windows, Linux, HP UX, AIX, and Solaris. There are two versions of the Area plugin that must be installed on the Remedy server: a legacy C-based version and a Java version. If using the legacy version, the Remedy application server should have the Remedy API installed along with the Area Hub plugin server. The mid-tier server requires at least the Sun JDK 1.6 Java 6 in addition to the base mid-tier installation. If using PKI CAC-based authentication, the primary web server for mid-tier should also be configured to accept or want client certificates. Let's look at some of the benefits of using the PKI SSO connector. If your users are already familiar with using PKI certificates or CAC cards to access other secure websites, they will know how to use the PKI SSO connector because the access method is the same. The PKI SSO connector is easy to install and configure, typically requiring less than 4 hours. Unlike other SSO solutions, the PKI connector does not require an additional user database or ongoing maintenance beyond normal Remedy administrative functions. Instead, it utilizes the existing Remedy user people module. Since it uses the existing Remedy and mid-tier architecture, it does not require any additional hardware. Here's a brief overview of how the PKI SSO connector works. A user navigates to a login page for the particular Remedy client application he or she wishes to access. If the system is configured for PKI CAC, it asks the user to select a certificate. The web server then validates the presented certificate. Upon validation, the PKI SSO connector extracts the user information from the certificate. If the system is configured for another authentication method, it extracts the user information from the appropriate header, session value, etc. Regardless of the authentication method used, the system now validates the extracted user information and finds the corresponding Remedy user. If a matching user is found, the system authenticates the user and presents them with their Remedy homepage. If no match is found, the system determines whether guest access is permitted. If so, the system will display the Remedy guest user page. If guest access is disabled, the system will then determine whether guest registration is permitted. If registration is enabled in the PKI SSO tool, the user is redirected to the designated registration page. If not, the user will be redirected to the default login page for the application. Here's a brief demonstration of how the PKI SSO connector works. In this example, we will use PKI-based authentication to access the mid-tier server. The user will open his or her browser. Then they'll simply navigate to the URL for the appropriate Remedy application. In this case, we're looking at a mid-tier system. You'll see that once I connect, the system will prompt me for a certificate to use. Here I'm choosing a certificate that's linked to the demo user inside of Remedy. And you'll see the system has taken me to my default login page. If you are interested in the PKI SSO connector for Remedy, please contact a RightStar Federal Sales Representative to receive a free 30-day trial license or to have any additional questions answered. Thanks again for your interest in the PKI SSO connector for Remedy, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.